welcome to the 40k Fireside podcast, where we discuss everything to do with competitive Warhammer 40k with your hosts Vik VJ and David Gaylord.
Yo, welcome everyone. And looks like we have the first set of big spoilers coming out for Guard. Awesome. I'm so pumped to get this new codex. Pumped to do some list ideas. It's going to be like 5 different lists for all the different detachments, depending on whatever you're into. So I'm really excited about it. I've really enjoyed list building with the Bridgehead detachment and playing it this weekend at Nottingham. So if you haven't seen that, Vic and I have a guide on the Nottingham list that we're taking. Vic is taking Elder. I'm taking Guard with Silence. But without further ado, we've got 2 of the detachments spoiled. Astra Militarum detachments, artillery barrages, mechanized assault, and stealth tactics. Awesome. Now, one thing I didn't really pick up on was this mechanized assault, actually. Mechanized assault, I didn't pick up the font on this little T. Mechanized assault is the pick for those who love the sound of gunned engines and grinding treads, as heavily armored transports dispense close-range shock troops right into the heart of the enemies. So I guess this is going to be a type of mechanized infantry, kind of plus to wound or advance and naturally shoot after advancing a transport, getting dudes out. Could be interesting. I take it this is probably going to be like tomorrow or something, so we'll have to see how that goes. And then it goes Hammer of the Emperor favors Hammer of the Emperor, which is the other detachment when isn't spoiled. Favors armored spearhead made up of thundering tank squadrons enabled by Rogel Dawn commanders. I'm gonna see if they've actually. No, it's just a link to a Rogel Dawn tank. Oh my word, that cost $172 in Australia. Sorry, guys. While the Death Corps Krieg are releasing their presence within the Astra Militarum, the Siege Regiment fits their attritional combat doctrine like the bespoke gas mask. Okay, so this is the Siege Regiment, and it has the detachment rule artillery support. So at the start of the battle round, so if you go second, you do it in your opponent's turn, or if you're first, you just straight up do it in your turn. Okay, roll 1d6. So there's 3 options. Roll 1d6 for each enemy unit that is more than 12 inches away from from every model in your army that is on the battlefield. From every model in your army. Okay, yeah. So, or if your opponent's model is more than 12 inches away, use this ability. On a 5 plus, until the end of the battle round, so last until the battle round, that unit is shaken. When it is shaken, subtract 2 from the move characteristics, 2 from the advance, and charge rolls made for it. Now, okay, that seems pretty good. Maybe that's just me, but wow, you can do that every single turn. But that does depend on you being more than 12 inches away. And you're going to want to use this in like the earliest turns, I would imagine, like turns 1, 2, and 3. Everything's going to be 12 inches away. And it targets each enemy unit that's more than 12 away from your model. So you can have like a couple models within 12, and it'll still like apply to the rest of your opponent's army. Now, it is only on a 5 plus, so it doesn't guarantee that you get like that 100% chance of shaking your opponent. But if you know the Earthshaker cannon rule, you'll know that that's only locked to infantry. This is not locked to infantry. That is completely miserable to play against. Imagine if you're going second, your opponent's like, cool, I'm gonna start the turn. You're like, okay, I'm gonna pick creeping barrage, 5 plus, 5 plus, 5 plus on your 3 units, and they're like, well, okay, I'm gonna roll in advance. Roll to 2, it's a 1. Roll to 3, it's now a 1. You're moving it like -1. Wow, that's pretty good. I'm actually pretty impressed by this one. Now, the downside to this one, though, is that you're often going to be wanting to hit one specific unit in your opponent's army. Like, if they've got a big melee brick that they're staging, you obviously want to try and hit that one. So maybe this is good combined with like an Earthshaker cannon, so you can hit that unit if you miss it. That could be cool as well. It looks like they're keeping the shaking keyword, and maybe shaking is getting moved to infantry, not infantry locked as well. So maybe the Earthshaker will get that buff. Okay. 2 other abilities, though. Damn, even that's pretty good for one. Select any number of enemy units more than 12 away from every model in your army. That is on the battlefield. Nice. Till the end of the battle round, those enemy units are scattered. While a unit is scattered, it does not have the benefit of cover. Okay, wow, that's pretty sick. You can pick the number equal to the battle size. So you're playing Strike Force, 3 units. Boom, 3 units straight up don't get cover. That's a pretty good ability. It's not rolling a dice, not conditional. If you want a slow melee unit, Okay, creeping barrage them. If you want to win a shootout, okay, incendiary bombardment them. Wow, it's pretty strong. Smoke shells. Select the number of enemy units from your army. Those gain the stealth ability. Wow. Okay, so if you want to play defensively, smoke shells. These are three really good abilities. I'm not gonna lie. We've seen that be really powerful in like orcs, for example, where it's just like, oh yeah, give my unit stealth. Okay, so you can smoke like 3 Lehman Russes without even having to pay a CP for it. Nice. That is pretty sweet. It's not locked to any any keyword as well, unless I'm missing something. Yeah, that's kind of that's really good. I don't know why they didn't lock this to a certain unit types, because that seems kind of crazy. You can smoke shell like a Titanic vehicle, for example. Wow. You can give like Death Core of Krieg stealth and stuff like that too. Wow, that's really, really powerful. Nice. The thing is, you can only pick one of them, so you can't do a combination of like, oh, I want like 2 stealth and 1 strip cover. But I mean, still, that's pretty good. Awesome. Let's look at the strats. So detachment rule, I would say already, that's really powerful. Okay, start your command phase. 1 infantry officer model from your army, 2 CP. Until the end of the phase, when your model issues the move, move, move order, it can issue that order to any number of eligible friendly infantry regiment units, regardless of the range to your model. Okay. I'm a little bit curious as to why that's 2 CP. Usually 2 CP stratagems are very powerful, but just issuing move, move, move is like pretty mundane considering the fact that you have a bunch of regimental orders anyway. Like regimental orders are everywhere basically. They're not very hard to get. So okay, I mean maybe it's much harder to order things, and like this is going to be useful, but all in all, not that great. There's Caskin in the background there. Nice. Okay, Callous Sacrifice. Your shooting phase. Platoon unit from your army that is within engagement range of one or more enemy units. So it's platoon. Platoon's not a pretty common keyword, so I think they're probably reworking that to give more things like platoon. Effect. Until the end of the phase, enemy units are not to be considered within engagement range of your unit for the purposes. Let me just turn my phone off here. Sorry about that, guys. Enemy units are not to be considered within engagement range of your enemy unit for the purpose of selecting targets with ranged weapons. Nice. Until the end of the phase, each time an enemy model loses a wound while that model's unit is within engagement range of your unit, roll 1d6. On a 4 plus, one model from your unit is destroyed and the attacking unit. One model from your unit is destroyed and the attacking unit has finished making its attacks. Okay, so every wound that you do to the model, you on a 4 plus lose one model from your unit. So like I guess they're envisioning a platoon unit like 10 like shock troops or something like that, or Cadian troops or something. You're in combat with a tank, you use a strat, you can target the tank with any number of your units, by the way. It's just one platoon. Yeah, so you target the platoon unit that's an engagement range of the enemy unit. Okay. And every single thing into your army can now shoot into that. That's pretty powerful. That seems really good. I mean, 1 CP, I don't know why this is 1 CP and this is 2 CP. Just kind of, yeah, it's strange to me. That's awesome. Wow, cool strat. This is a lot better than, I think this is better than the other one that they had, whereas like you could shoot into combat in 9th edition, but on a one you hit your own model sort of thing. Because that was like locked to one unit being able to shoot into combat with one unit. This is just like, oh, your knight's in combat, shoot with everything. Okay. Such a powerful ordnance must be protected at all costs, and before engagements, sappers lay a deadly minefield on the battlefield. Awesome. Coupled with creeping barrage, this can leave an enemy with nothing but a face full of explosions. Awesome. Your opponent's charge phase, 1 platoon unit from your army. Until the end of the charge phase, each time an enemy unit ends a charge within engagement range of your unit. So, start of your opponent's charge phase, 1 platoon unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, each time an enemy unit ends a charge move within engagement range of your unit, roll 1d6 for each model in that enemy unit. 5 plus they suffer a mortal wound. Okay, interesting. Couple of little nuanced things here. You can select one of your platoon units, and every time they charge it with any unit. So if they charge it with like 3 units, then all 3 of those units are going to be taking minefield damage. Okay, interesting. I mean, there's a 5 plus for one mortal. I mean, it's good against like stuff like Demonettes and Holmgaunts and all that stuff. If you've got one guy, you're probably just like, yeah, I'll minefield you. I mean, if you've got Ursula Creed, you're probably just like spamming minefield as much as possible because you have no real infantry combat options anyway. So, okay. It is quite interesting that like you can minefield people and then creeping barrage them for like pretty non-fun interactions, and then they probably won't print any melee options. So we'll see. Okay, so detachment rule, I think very strong. I really like this detachment rule. I think it is definitely very, very good. Okay, Recon Element. Like, the reason this detachment rule is really good, sorry, if you go second, you just straight up use Creeping Barrage. Okay, you don't need to strip cover. They're not going to walk into a place you can shoot them. You don't need to give stealth because you're in your deployment zone and hidden. Straight up Creeping Barrage them. A lot of the units, maybe even a key unit, is going to be -2 to move. It might mean that they might just like hang out on that objective so they can't just tuck in. Really good. I mean, this could really nullify someone's ability to go first and take the board control. Cool. A sweet detachment. It's nice to see that they didn't like print any, here is a buff to make indirect better detachment. Okay, Recon Element. Cool. This is one I thought this detachment would kind of be. Astro Militarum Walker and Regiment models. Now, I'm just going to go to Wikipedia and just double check that the Walker keyword is locked to what I think it is. Walker. Yep, Armored Sentinels and Scout Sentinels. Cool. So this reads Armored Sentinels and Scout Sentinels and regimental models from your army have the benefit of cover. Okay. So almost your whole army. So that means that Scout Sentinels lose a regiment keyword, I guess. Interesting. Models from your army have the benefit of cover. Okay, getting benefit of cover was already pretty easy on obviously like a big sentinel, but a regiment unit means you can be in the open, have benefit of cover. While such a model has the benefit of cover for any other reason, because it is wholly within a ruin, why would you be wholly within a ruin, Games Workshop? You just need to poke your little gun behind some little tiny part of it. Just goes to show sometimes. Improve the save characteristic of models in that unit by 1 to a maximum of 3+. Okay, pretty good. I mean, you can also order for +1 save. So you can have a 20-man like unit with it as a 5-up save base, be in cover, be getting +1 save because they're in cover from something else, presumably. And then you can also get a +1 save from the order. So you're on effectively a 2-up save. Damn, it's pretty sick. Although it is, worth mentioning that if you strip cover, they lose basically like two two rolls of save. So yeah, that's interesting. I don't know why. So I'm assuming Sentinels are going back to a 4+ save because I don't really know why they're a 3+ save the Scout Sentinel anyway. Doesn't really make sense to me. But I'm assuming their intent was to also like make the Sentinel go to a 3+ save because it's currently a 3+ save anyway. Interesting. Infantry platoons and striding sentinels allow this force to react swiftly, and 5 out of their 6 stratagems will let you respond to enemy maneuvers. That's pretty cool. Movement based. Your opponent's shooting phase. Astro Militarum infantry or Astro Militarum mounted unit from your army. Till the end of the phase, unit has a 6-up feel no pain. Each time an enemy unit model targets and makes an attack, if your unit is the closest eligible target, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Okay, so what I forgot is that this will obviously give Outland Rough Riders and Krieg guys, like the Outland Rough Riders here, that will give them, make them from a 4+ save to a baseline 2+ save. I guess kind of maximum of 3, whatever that means. So it means you won't have to put +1 save on them. What I'm assuming is that they're getting rid of the +1 save order. That would make sense to me because this doesn't really seem to make sense whilst that order exists. So this will put them on like, a pseudo 3-up, which is kind of nice. Cool. And always cover. So you can be right in front of your opponent. Always cover. -1 to hit. 6-up feel no pain. They still die pretty fast. So 6-up feel no pain, -1 to hit is like pretty good. But, it's not going to make your 120 point mounted unit probably live much more. Okay. I'm not trying to be too much down on it. 1 CP for that one. Scramble Field. Once again, I don't understand why this is 1 CP and like this. Sorry to harp on this, and this is 2 CP. Like I get you get to order your stuff more, but just seems a bit odd. Scramble Field. Start of your opponent's reinforcement step. Okay, it's a bit unusual. 1 infantry unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, enemy units that are set up set up on the battlefield as reinforcements cannot be set up within 12 inches of your unit. Okay, this stratagem is absolutely fucking bonkers, by the way. 1 CP, make your unit an infiltrator unit is insanely good. Especially because if you have Aquilons, you can 6-inch deep strike, move block, shoot some stuff, do whatever. Then 1 CP, make your unit become a 12-inch infantry denial. That is really, really good. Wow. This is like bonkers strong. They used to have this order in 9th edition, and it was incredible back then as well. So yeah, that is really, really good. S tier, like top 10 stratagems in the game, definitely. Okay, scouting outriders. It'd be cool if they actually printed the cards like this. With some like units on them. Recon Element. End of your opponent's turn, one Astra Military mounted or Astra Military walker unit from your army that is wholly within 10 inches of one or more battlefield edges and not within engagement range of one or more enemy units. Remove your unit from the battlefield and place it into strat reserve. Like, okay. I don't really know why you would want to pick up your Atlan Rough Riders and put it back into strat reserve, I guess. I guess it says put it into strat reserve, so you could in theory put it into strat reserve, deploy it on the board, put it into strat reserve, rapid ingress it, so you can then move. I guess for the walkers, you can instead bounce them around kind of like centurions, but they have really lackluster firepower anyway. So I'm not convinced on that one. That's interesting. Maybe there's a good data sheet that's like a shooting data sheet that's either printed in the mounted category or the walker category, because there's a lot built around this, and walker is currently just sentinel, so maybe there's something else there. And that looks like we're it for today. Astra Militarum will be available in the Deathcore Krieg army set, which I will not be buying. It is horrible value for money, which goes on pre-order on Saturday, including some new Krieg units, which look delightful, but the box set is quite poor, so I would not recommend anyone buy that in terms of value for money. It's very unlikely that all of those units will get used in combination of each other. So there we go. That's the news for today. I think this is looking pretty good. It's off to a good start. 2 hits. Like you could build competitive lists around both of these archetypes currently. And I think the Siege Regiment is looking pretty nice. I don't really understand the thought process behind this creeping barrage rule. I think that from a game philosophy design standpoint, this is not where we should be. I don't think that's a very fun rule for either side. It's kind of like the gene. Like people say this all the time, and I'll go on a little bit of tangent here. People say this all the time about so many rules, right? Like take Gene Stealer Cult for example. Back when pre-nerf respawn was there, every single person knew that it was a crap play experience because one player's on one side was always going, "Oh, I hope you don't roll the 5+," and the other player's going, "I hope I really roll the 5+." So it creates this binary outcome of an interaction that happens all the time, and can have quite a devastating impact on the game. And realistically, on this one, you're going to try and hit like 2 or 3 of their units, key units, and if you roll on a 5+, it's going to have a really big impact. Like say your opponent's playing Death Guard, you're like, "Yeah, man, I was creeping barrage you on turn 1," and you hit like a bunch of 5+. Your opponent may not even leave their deployment zone. So, it's interesting though. The other ones are really good anyway, so you'd be happy to even play this just as a detachment rule. Select a couple of units, get stealth, like awesome. So there we go, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. I'm going to be, if there's some spoilers tomorrow, hopefully I'll be doing it tomorrow. And if not, catch you later. Let me know what your thoughts are. If I missed any like weird little wacky interactions, maybe let me know what you think about the Siege Regiment artillery support. There we go, guys. Peace out.